Welcome back.
Let's take it back, way back when Rage is about to begin, and the things we remember or are forgotten, such as a disaster where humans can't stop, earthquakes, extreme heat waves, floods, hurricanes, landslides, tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanoes, and the weather, climate.
Haze with risk of showers.
All disasters have something in common. Knowing all of these earthquakes, only one stands out to those: the Great Chilean Earthquake. The Great Chilean Earthquake, as it is commonly referred to, is a series of strong earthquakes that hit the country in May 21st and 22nd of 1960. On the evening of May 22nd, people were just enjoying their life. Kids were watching their favorite TV shows. But something happened. A huge tsunami wave struck the coast 10 to 15 minutes after the major earthquake. They were approximately 75 feet high and killed many people along the coastline.
This is the town of Yanquihue in Chile, some 600 miles south of Santiago, one of the hardest hit in a nation where famine, exposure, and plague now threaten to add to the nearly 5,000 lives lost. Emergency relief has poured in, but the nation's problems of reconstruction are of a crushing magnitude.
This event was so powerful, even hit the newspaper of Times. After leaving Chile, the tsunami traveled to Hawaii, Philippines, and Japan. In fact, the waves set off by this earthquake bounced back and forth across the Pacific Ocean for a week. The aftershocks were recorded for a full 30 days after the main event. Now, keep in mind, when talking about past disaster, natural or otherwise, we always have to keep in mind that they are part of what brought us here in the first place. Without them, the planet and everything in it would have taken a totally different turn than it is today.
Dozens of people are reported dead now. Hundreds of people still trapped in
Search
that rubble.
crews are frantically trying to reach rural villages covered.
Breaking news, a massive Category 4 hurricane is heading straight for the East Coast. And
Hurricane Florence is making landfall after thrashing the Carolinas all night long.
Overnight, Tropical Storm Lane continuing to rake the Hawaiian Islands with wind, rain, and pounding surf.
Outbreak. As we come on the air, tornadoes are on the ground in Oklahoma.
We have a disaster. It is a disaster. A total disaster. What a disaster. Although, I don't know, that whole thing is such a disaster.
So this is a lot of disaster. Well, let's talk about the expensive of natural disaster. The expensive of natural disaster between 2000 and 2012, it costs about how much? Well, let's talk about it. Over the years, natural disaster caused $1.2 trillion in damage and affected 2.9 billion people. That is a third of our population.
Holy Testicle Tuesday!
Holy shit. The US spent more money on weather disaster in 2017 than any year on record. What we understand about natural catastrophes,
Catastrophe.
What the
What we understand about natural catastrophes, it's never gonna stop and will always be that way, making us suffer the most. Why is that? Is it because it's in our genes when we practice religions way back and others didn't understand why? To be honest, I'm not a genius. It's just a human way of living. My answer isn't about psychological or philosophical or the religious spiritual. Back in the good old days when Obama was president, he had a great message about natural disaster. Let's give it a listen.
When a natural disaster strikes, it can leave tens of thousands of families in need of help. But it can also bring out the best in the American people. In this country, we look out for one another. We have each other's backs.
Understanding about natural disasters can prepare us and prevent future disasters. That's why we should pay more attention to our surrounding rather ignoring it.